sisters. Of course, you know who this is, and I will shoot this video. I was on a journey, but first, I would like to, before I get started, remind you that tomorrow I'm gonna do a live, and we're gonna talk about the brothers that are locked up and in a very dangerous, precarious situation in Ecuador. All right, and all this we're going through to get away from the BAW. Can you just really think about that? But there are some mistakes that were made, like not really having a grasp of the language, and then being set up by jealousy too. These brothers were really set up. All right, so I'm gonna greet everybody real quick before I get started on this one about this and current situations that I've had here with two women here in Brazil, in particular. All right, so Gordon Hardu Budal, Ola Oi também, Vossas Los, Bonjour, Mes Amis, Quero Balni Panichiwa, Nihani Ama, Sani Bonani, Jumbo Habagani, Assalamu Alaikum and Shalom. All right, and so when I say this, right, this is basically my personal view of what I'm seeing here in Brazil, and let's couple that with the history that they have in Brazil, which is like unto the history we had in the United States. Remember, a lot of the slavers and people from the Confederate came here to Brazil, all right, because of their policies with so-called black people. So I want y'all to understand that. And then we had black females that came down here after the Olympics and pushed the black feminist narrative here amongst the Afro women, which is why when brothers come down here, it seems the lighter the woman, the better chance that they have at a real type of relationship. But the more Afro-Brazilian the woman is, the more it is a struggle to maintain a relationship with them if you're a brother. Most of the times it's just a shaboing boing by the day, but no real relationship. All right, and then I'm gonna discuss what went on with a woman that I had a serious relationship with, and she by no means was an Afro-Brazilian. She was more like Latina looking. You could tell there was some Afro somewhere in that family. All right, but where we are right here is that anyone that follows the way of the so-called black women in the United States, the black American women, all right, that way is cursing women who follow that narrative everywhere in the world, which is why you don't see many of them being blessed. All right, but it is also why you see women that go away from that narrative and stay in the culture of we're going to please a man. They are blessed by the Afro men that go and travel with money, the Caucasians that go and travel with money. They are well covered, like the Filipinos, like the Southeast Asians, and dare I say, like the Colombians. All right, and so I don't know about the Dominicans yet, but there's some brothers that could speak to that one way or the other. So let's break this down. All right, and I'll just discuss what happened to me here, and my phone is blowing up all of a sudden. And one of the reasons for that is they're recognizing that I'm staying here longer periods of time while I'm here. But let's get into this. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. All right. I'm headed down here to the beach because it's an overcast day, and I found out that the best way to work out aerobically for me, especially because of my knee issues, is to play basketball. But not really play, but exercise, like do mic drills and stuff like that. So it helps my knees and stuff. Now, the reason for this video is that something had occurred to me. A few things. Being here in Brazil and dealing with relationships with women. And it's the one thing here that even though if you want to have that moment of satisfaction, if you know what I mean, that bound chicken wow wow that night, all right, that it is a lot easier here and more accessible here, okay, than in the United States. In the United States, it is clearly used as a weapon and negotiation between a woman and a man. Look like my idea may be blown. Oh no, ain't nobody on the hoop courts. Okay. So we'll go out towards the beach. All right. So with that said, talk to you about a recent situation. In this recent situation, all right, some of y'all who watch me, y'all know. All right, there's two women in particular that I still kind of kick it with here. And when I say kick it with, these are women that at any point I would have been cool with, but I'm not. And the reason being is both of them blew what could have been potentially a decent relationship. All right, now let's talk about what could have been a decent relationship. As we get a look at the water here. When we say what could have been a decent relationship, we are talking about, I was very interested in them for a relationship. Understand, each one of them. But each one of them effed up in kind of a way, right? Now, I'm going to tell you the reason for their F up. The reason for their F up is that they clearly had the understanding that they were the prize. All right. And what ended up happening is I've understood for a while that I am the prize. As a man, why am I the prize? I am the prize because as a man, I'm what women should look for. Somebody that is capable of taking care of a woman. Somebody that has the resources to take care of a woman. Understand, somebody that can take care of a woman who also has the resources. That's what makes me the prize. All right. The problem is in the United States and in Brazil, as quiet as it's kept, but more so in the United States, the majority of women don't look for the prize because they think they're the prize. And because of government handouts, they think they could choose anybody that's bad for them. And so they do this. All right. I'm not the only one that had the idea to come here and work out. All right. So what ends up happening is whenever dudes realize that they are the prize, a significant thing happens. The women start to count and see the loss, because when a man realizes he's the prize, Understand this. Women now has to evaluate what he loses versus what she loses. And I look at it as I lost women who really didn't care about me, only about what I could provide. Whereas the women look at their loss and they say, oh, this dude had a lot going for him, and he was a provider, and I'm gonna miss the things that he was able to provide. Understand this. And they will always miss out. And the reason why they will always miss out, because that's the only way they look at us men. That's the only way they look at us. As somebody to provide for them. They look at us for what they could take from us instead of how to make us happy. Why don't they care about how to make us happy? Because they just don't give a damn. All right. So as we look over these things, right? As we're looking over these things, one of the things I started to realize is that when you recognize that you are the prize and you are able to walk away. I do this the way I buy cars. All right. All my vehicles are paid for. All right. If I go get another vehicle, I'll have somebody drive me in a vehicle I already have. I will not accept a trade-in. I'm not going to trade stuff in. Right. So this is how I do it. When I go in, if I wanted another vehicle, I'll go in with money already from the bank. I'll have a check already from my bank. Right. And I'll go in ready to walk out if they don't meet my terms. In meeting my terms, I will try to be fair, knowing they have to make money, but I will honestly know how much the car should cost to me. I like pre-owned cars over new cars, brand new cars. All right, that's what I like. I don't like to buy brand new cars. All right, they're too high when I could just get a nice pre-owned car. So, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Knowing that I could walk away, some of the times they'll let you walk away, and when they find out you're serious, they'll call you back and give you the deal that you can live with. And that's the way I treat women, because I understand what I have, bring to the table, so to speak, and I understand that no woman can bring to this table something that I need that is a thing. Understand this. I don't need your house. I don't need money. I don't need cars. I don't need a place to stay. Right? I would like the companionship. I would like someone that I can have fun with. I don't mind spending money on a woman that's with me. And by with me, I'm saying that I'm bouncing around on a regular basis. All right? I don't mind that. But what I will not tolerate is disrespect, and I will not tolerate women who waste my time. All right? And a lot of the women in Brazil fail at that. They think that once they put it on you, they done put it on you that they could waste your time. All right. And people like, oh, you just got to take it because that's just what it's like there. And I'm like, nope, I don't have to take it. I don't care how the hell it's like. Remember, when we go somewhere, we got to be men. We got to be individual men. Understand this. We got to be men everywhere. And we got to be the same man. Here's the thing. A lot of us are leaving the United States to get rid of or get away from women who do nothing but disrespect us, but think that they are entitled to our stuff. All right? When we go to another place, we should, the same BS we wouldn't put up with in the United States, we shouldn't put up with in that other place. And by golly, I will not. I refuse. All right, brothers, take this to heart. Even when we travel, we got to be on our P's and Q's. And if you're traveling to find a better life, don't compromise your soul thinking like, well, since I'm in a different place, I'll put up with BS that I wouldn't put up with in the United States. Remember, that's what you're getting away from. You're going to the other places because the women are more feminine, and by more feminine, that makes them more beautiful. Not beautiful because they got better bodies, because I know women in the United States that got good bodies, but the attitudes make them less than attractive, way less than attractive, right? And so when you're dealing with these feminine women, where the bound chicken wow wow is a lot easier to access, all right, two things you'll find out: that the bound chicken wow wow is not enough as a man, and that you're still looking for a companion type relationship where you can get the bound chicken wow wow. Understand this. So these women here squander good relationships that's just as bad as the women in the United States. And we as men don't have to put up with it, and we shouldn't. All right, they squandered it in different ways. Now, I made this because both of them are now blowing my phone up. One wants to video call me, and I said, message me. All right, the other one just keep calling. And I say, I don't want to be bothered. And I tell them straight up, you waste my time. Some of you that watch me know this. You wasted my time. So that's where I'm at. That's where my head is. You got to look for somebody that is good for you and that suits you. All right? Never choose women who give you a bunch of BS and say that you should accept this BS because I got a nice body or my sex is good. Because quiet as it's kept, sex ain't all that good if the attitude is really that bad. This is something you got to realize. And when you find women that really care about you and your time and respect you as a man, you'll find that the sex will be better with them as well as the companionship too. With that said, I'm out. Okay, there is beauty to be found everywhere. And like I said, the lighter skinned women are far more approachable than the darker skinned ones. All right. That is, if you are a melanated man. If you're white, you're all right. But as a melanated man, I'm not saying you can't get a darker skinned woman here. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right. And this is the experiences of a lot of brothers that have come here. All right. You look at who they married, look who they ended up with. Everybody wants you to chase after this. All right. But this always leads you into a dead end in this modern era. All right. Brothers, there's more to a good woman than a big butt. And those who's chasing a butt usually have their mind clouded and end up in that burning house that has been prepared for the entire population of Afro people by way of the BAW. We got to do better than that. And when we say pick better, we got more options than what they're giving us in the United States. With that said, I'm out.